Morning guys, Dash coming at you. It's Tuesday, September the 24th, I think, 25th, 24th, don't know. Anyway, early morning, about 8:30, and frost warning last night, so it's definitely cold out this morning. You can see your breath. Anyway, we're going to start the day. We're going to move the TR6 out, and we're going to do some sanding on the car today and see how that primer sprayed out. We're going to run up to Napa and grab some supplies. So we'll probably end up doing that first before we get into it, but I'm going to get the TR6 out of the garage and get set up and ready for sanding before I head off to Napa. Alright guys, that's the beginning of the video. Should be a long day today. Talk to you later guys. Alright guys, my traditional video after my parts run, or my shop run. So just went up to Napa, took the TR6 for a nice little morning run. That was great. Anyway, so here's what I got this morning. So I picked up some gun wash. So I know you guys are always interested in pricing. So the gun wash was $16.95. I picked up some acetone. I didn't need that much acetone, but they didn't have the smaller can there, so I picked it up anyway. I'm sure I'll use it at some point. That acetone was $25.54. I picked up 10 of the large mixing cups, the 32-ounce mixing cups, and 10 of the 16-ounce mixing cups. The large ones are 53 cents each. The small ones are 36 cents each. Picked up a roll of 320 stick and sand. That was $9.22. Picked up some red scrubbies. Some Scotch-Brites. Those were, let me see here, scuff pads, $5.28 for the pack, and I picked up some 600 grit wet sandpaper. Those were $5.97. Anyway, the only thing is I got to go back to Napa because they ended up charging me 4 times for that sandpaper, that roll of sandpaper. So should have been $9.22. They charged me $36.88. So I got to make another trip back there. I'll probably need some other stuff anyway, so we'll go back and we'll get our credit. All right, we'll talk to you later, guys. Hey guys, quick update. We're just coming up to 10:30. It's still pretty cold out actually. It's still only 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So made my return trip to Napa to get the credit on that sandpaper, so I've got that. While I was there, I thought I'd better pick up a little bit of little 1K high build just in case I have some issues when I'm sanding this panel today. I don't know if I'll need to do a little repairs or whatnot, so thought I'd have some of that on hand just in case. So anyway, we're going to start now. We're going to start sanding. We're going to spray this with some guide coat. And then we're going to block that down, I think, to 320, and then we're going to wet sand to 600. So hopefully that'll get this panel ready to go, and hopefully we don't have any problems. And I'll take some video along the way. Actually, this panel looks pretty good this morning. Maybe I was a little bit overcritical on my video from yesterday. This one looks not bad. I'm pretty happy with it. The hood's a little worse, but again, I think it's going to be workable. So I've calmed down a little bit this morning, and we're going to get ready to sand. Talk to you later, guys. So that was only about a half an hour, guys, and it seems to be sanding up pretty well. That's down to 320 now, so what I'm going to do now, I actually recoated just a corner here. I had a little bit of a sand through on that corner edge, so I got to be more careful with that. But we'll let that dry, and then what we're going to do is we're going to re-guide coat, and we're going to go and fill up a bucket of water and get my 600 grit sandpaper soaking. I'm going to go clean this bucket out, get the paper soaking, guide coat, and then we're going to 600 grit this down. Alright guys. Alright guys, 11:30, here goes nothing. Guide coat's on, sandpaper soaking. I got my brand new sponge there to keep the sandpaper wet. I got a little rubber squeegee down there. So underside is down to 320 as well. I'm going to red Scotch-Brite that bottom as well. There's some pieces in there that I need to work around. So anyway, here we go. Wet sanding, first time. Let you know how it goes. I'm sure this is going to make a mess of the garage floor, but that's okay. Talk to you later. So here's the panel out in the sun, guys. It's wet sanded with 600 grit. and it's pretty good. I had a little bit of an issue here on the hinges, got a little bit of bare metal, so I just re-etch primed that. I guess what I'll do is I'll coat it with some 1K and we'll re-sand that, but haven't done the edges yet. But the rest of the lid came up pretty well. Got a little bit more sanding to do there, and a little bit around the, I know you can't see that, a little bit around the hinge. Other than that, a few little spots just to clean up here and there, but came up pretty good. Actually, I don't mind that at all. So yeah, makes a bit of a mess, but the floor needed a wash anyway. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll continue on. We're probably going to do a couple of coats of that 1K on those spots, and then we'll come back to it. But I think what we'll start doing is we'll start blocking back out this hood. Alright guys, talk to you in a bit. Okay guys, Touch coming back at you. It's 20 to 1, and the hood is blocked out to 320. And we're just going to re-guide coat now, and we're going to wet sand with 600. So it's looking pretty good. Still a few spots I got to sand out there, but I'll get that when I'm wet sanding. So yeah, looks okay. Primer sanded out okay. There was a few spots that were a little iffy with that graininess, like I reported yesterday, but not too bad. Since the first and second coat went on fine, I basically had a good foundation for that third coat anyway. So anyway, we'll continue on. We're going to block it, so we're going to guide coat it and then 600 grit it. Talk to you later. Hey guys, quick update. So the hood is now down to 600 wet, and it looks pretty good. And again, I got a few little more spots here to sand, and a little breakthrough here on the hood hinge. I'm having trouble with these hinges keeping from sanding through, so I'm going to reprime that area. And again, a little area here on the hinge, got to reprime that, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. There's a few little spots I see here and there, you know, trying to get in these little crevices, but not bad. Looking pretty good, nice and smooth. So that's 2 down. I do have to flip the hood over and do the underside as well, though. Trunk lid is complete, except I've got to go back and sand down where I've just touched up those areas with that 1K primer. So we'll go back and we'll just wet sand those areas before we paint. Other than that, it's coming out pretty good. I actually don't mind wet sanding, so that's a good thing. Makes a bit of a mess, but it's definitely less dusty. Alright guys, we'll come back later on. So continuing on with the doors. And as usual, compressor kicks on. I think I'm cursed. Anyway, so this is the worst of the 2 doors. Had that little blob of stuff here, so see if that sands out okay. Yeah, so getting a fair amount accomplished today, which is good. So still not quite to the 60-degree mark, so I couldn't paint today anyway if I wanted to. But I'm thinking tomorrow might be a day where I spray probably the trunk to start, since it's a small panel that I can sand down easily enough if I screw up. So I might consider the trunk panel to be my practice panel for color and clear. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. We'll continue on sanding, and we'll bring it back when this one's sanded out. Talk to you later. Okay, so 1 door down. Looking pretty good. Just a little bit of again, a little sand through. Got a little etch primer and a little 1K on that to fix that up. We got a little mark here. Probably have to look after that. Not too bad. So on to the last door. And this was the nicely primered one. You can see actually how shiny it is. Anyway, we'll guide coat this, and we'll go ahead and block this one out. I don't know if you can see that. Looks pretty good actually. The reflection looks pretty good. Alright, last item to wet sand for today, and we'll finish up that door, and then we'll have to move on to something else, probably move on to the fenders and do a little work on them. Alright, anybody want to see me wet sand?
Have enough?
On 4 o'clock, guys, and probably going to take a bit of a break and think about what I'm going to have for dinner. Getting pretty hungry. I don't think I had lunch today. Maybe I did. Can't remember. Anyway, doors are sitting out here in the sun, well, kind of in the shade now. And just did a quick coat of that 1K primer over top of the door handles. Got to be careful about sanding those the next time. And I had a little bit of a sand through here on the corner, so got to be careful about that. Other than that, it looks good. Here's my Tush's tip of the day. Don't wear good shoes when you're wet sanding. Here's my tip of the day. Alright guys, Tush coming back at you. It's about 10 to 6 and we're back out in the garage. Just had a quick bite to eat for dinner. A couple of burgers on the barbecue. That was good. So we're going to work on this rear fender. We're going to get this into urethane primer. So it's got a coat of poly primer on there, and you see it's been sanded down. Lots of repairs on this fender. So I'm going to do some repairs on the nose here. Although this is totally hidden, you don't even see it because there's a rock or a stone guard that goes on here, but I don't know. I can't leave it like that, so I'm going to repair this. We'll get a little Bondo in there. We'll sand her down before we go to a coat of urethane primer. So yeah, this one needs to be done on the inside as well with some primer. It's got epoxy on it, but I'm going to be painting the inside of these fenders, so I want to put a coat of urethane primer on top of the epoxy. So yeah, fenders over here are, turn that down for a sec. The only problem is I'm forgetting where I'm at. I believe this is, I think this is polyester primer, but hard to say. Might have to sand it down to figure out what that is. And I believe these are urethane primer. See, that's the problem. I'm starting to lose track of where I am now. So anyway, I could always just sand them down and give them another couple quick coats of urethane primer just to be sure. This one does need a coat. The rear fenders both needed a coat of urethane primer on the inside. It's only been epoxied on the inside, so I definitely know that one needs some urethane anyway. Anyway, we'll continue on. We'll fix up that fender. We'll get that sprayed. Maybe we'll sand that epoxy down the inside, and we'll spray this one with urethane at the same time as we spray the other one. I got this all overspray masked off, just not to get my freshly sanded panels with any overspray on them, so don't have to resand those down again. So they're just sitting there ready to go for the most part. Anyway, doors are still sitting outside. I got to bring those in shortly. Got to figure out a place to put those to keep them safe. Alright guys, talk to you later. Hey guys, Tush coming back at you. It's about 6:45, and I think we're going to call it a night. I managed to fix that front of that fender and found another little problem down here. So put some filler in that. Haven't sanded that down yet, but we'll wait to do that tomorrow. I started sanding the panel with 180 to get it ready for some urethane primer, and then I decided that I've had enough for tonight. Even though it's only 6:45, I feel like my both my elbows are going to fall off. So too much sanding today, and I don't want to sand anymore, so I'm going to call it a night. So we'll get it back out here tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then. Night, guys.